I couldn't lose the weight and I was just gaining weight. Tested the testosterone, went to the NHS. They did prescribe me Sustanon. 1 shot every 3 weeks. I found you after this, and then I started at age 46. I did my last show, age 50, but I was 10 kilos heavier.
Life is all about transformations. How do you go from one point to the other? How do you go from, being a fit young lad to middle-aged spread to going back to that fit young laddish body that you maybe once had, or at least close to it? We're going to talk about how that could be done. Is it possible? Why you'd want to do it? With one of our clients who's had his own transformation over the years. And it combines various tools and various techniques, so you don't want to miss it. Keep watching, this is a good one. All right, so we're back with one of our favorites on the channel is Al Reeves. He runs a coaching service for anything from keto to, I'll let you talk about it, to lifting weights, to health and fitness. Al helps transform his clients who've had issues with maintaining leanness and health into almost Adonis type bodies in some cases, but it's more than just what's on the outside, it's also what's on the inside. And we're going to talk to Alan today about his own transformation and then what he does for his clients. So Alan, thanks for
so nice to be here again. Yeah. Nice to see you.
You too. And so I guess we can start talking about your own journey. I mean, you've shown some pictures on your own social media of how you were a dancer. And
I was one of the before Magic Mike, put it that way. I was in the Dream Boys, which was like the British Chippendales back in the early 90s, because of course now I'm 52. So it was a long time ago. So I was in decent shape in my 20s.
And then life kind of gets in the way
Life gets in the way. My training didn't change. I was always very dedicated to training, but I found that I couldn't lose the weight and I was just gaining weight. So I changed my diet first. And I found it was to be a life changer.
That's when you started more of the anabolic diet.
Exactly. I mean, the people watching might not know what the anabolic diet is, but of course we do. And it was a cyclical ketogenic diet because a lot of us tried, probably yourself included in the early 90s, we tried Atkins.
Yeah, the Atkins was there and they told you would die if you did Atkins.
Yeah, exactly. But we was a little young then and I didn't need to lose weight and people only really went to Atkins
to lose weight. As well?
I tried Atkins for a little while, but
I went straight to the anabolic diet. So just for people who are watching, the anabolic diet was Dr. Mauro Di Pasquale.
That's right.
From Canada. He's a doctor, quite built.
World champion powerlifter.
Yeah, he was good body, and he was promoting you do low carb. I think no more than 3 grams of carbs during the week.
30 grams a day.
30.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. And then you would do the carb loading on the weekends. And
exactly.
So I was in Denmark at the time doing it. That's when I first discovered it. And I bought the book. And
the book came out in about 95.
Yeah.
So I did Atkins in about 93, 94.
Okay, I did in 95, and everyone thought I was mad for doing this. So, my carb load was at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like,
but he did have a dirty carb load. That's why I have, I've been doing it, the carb cycling for the last 7 years and keto for almost 10.
Okay.
And I've tweaked it and cleaned it up, if you like, because he had margarine in his book, for example. And what we've learned is saturated fat is not the enemy, and the real animal fats is the healthier fats, the butter.
Yeah, better than margarine, the trans fats and all that. I mean, I was doing, I think I was doing butter, and I was, what else did I have? I remember a lot of minced meat. And
McDonald's.
I had Havarti cheese and then McDonald's and pancakes on the weekends for the carb loading. But I mean, I was 21. I probably could have done anything that was moderating what I was, more
if you've
protein.
Got half decent genetics, you can get away with a hell of a lot in your 20s.
Yeah.
A little bit in your 30s, and you get away with nothing in your 40s.
And 50s,
And what I found was the weight just came off when I went keto. And I did strict keto to heal all my pre-diabetes, my fatigue, my brain fog. I stayed strict for almost 2 years before I went into the anabolic diet, which I've called it the alpha diet, named after myself.
Right. So you did it from 93, some form of...
Only for a short time, because I was trying to grow back then, and the Atkins wasn't known for growing. It was growing for losing weight.
And that's what attracted me, because the manual, we'll probably find it put on, I think we put online before, showed a real muscly body on the cover, and it was a spiral bound, almost like notebook, and it had all the pictures of, I think, him and the diet. And
the anabolic one?
Anabolic diet. Yeah. I remember following it.
I mean, he was a world champion powerlifter, so because a lot of people was worried that without carbs you wouldn't be strong. But of course, with the anabolic diet, or now the alpha diet, you are using carbs as a tool.
Right.
We're not fearful of carbs, but most people are. Their diet is 60, 70, even 80% carbohydrate. Because every time you go on the tube, the station, everything's pastries, but which is fat and carbs, which you don't want. When I do the carb loads.
I had a pan of chocolate this morning at breakfast. I mean, everything in moderation now. But back then, you're right. If you're trying to stay in ketosis for your goal,
exactly.
Then you can't.
And of course, when we do the carb load, you lower the fat. You don't have both macros at that time. But I mean, I entered a men's physique competition age 45 and won. Then I entered a pro competition 6 months later and won that. I went carb cycling. I did the anabolic diet for the second one. Okay. And I found I just packed on more muscle and held more muscle. I thought I was losing too much muscle doing strict keto because protein was quite low. It was really high in fat. I was doing 82% fat. Felt fantastic. Mentally, probably the best I've ever felt. But for physique-wise, it was a little too low in protein. So now I do much higher protein, moderate fat, and low carb.
You had a period of time. So since you did those contests, then you added some weight. You have some pictures on your social media where you put on quite a bit of...
Yeah, that was before I did keto. That was age 40.
Okay.
That was age 40 when I was looking at my worst, if you like. So age 40 to 43 was when I got the acid reflux, I got the fatigue, things wasn't working. And the acid was so bad that I couldn't even train properly and I'm one of them that can't burp. It's like stuck. Okay. And it's quite painful. So you wake up in the night with that heat, feel like you're on fire, and it's quite distressing. Of course, the doctor prescribed me PPIs without seeing me. It was just over the phone. Didn't talk to me about what you eat. To prescribe them, take them, come and pick the prescription up.
But it's common. I mean, it is a normal prescription.
Yeah, and again, which is it's about 10 years ago.
I think one of the side effects that people are watching is that it can raise prolactin.
Right. I know it. I Googled a lot about them before taking them, and it can destroy your gut microbiome, which is your immune system. And I was super into researching health, and because of my dad's own cancer treatment. That's why also I was studying keto, because of course cancer and sugar, keto, no sugar. And I didn't take a PPI. I never took one. Okay. I took apple cider vinegar, which was the opposite. I took acid and lowered the carbs, and within 5 days the acid had gone, never to return. Never took a Rennie since. And I used to always have a pocket full of Rennies. It was like, that was my go-to, always.
Yeah, no,
But after winning the competitions, it was my brother that tested his testosterone, and it was like 10.5. And he was always quite obese.
Even though some of the reference ranges will show it down around 8 or 6, we know that 10...
This is 10 years ago as well, which that was one of the lowest on the range then. I know they keep changing the range. And I thought, well, mine's bound to be higher because I'm fitter.
Yeah.
I tested mine was 10.
So yours was 10 as well.
Yeah, even though I'd won those competitions. And I found for me, maybe genetically, I held onto muscle. I knew how to train as well. And I trained for 35 years in that time, since I was 11 years old. But the libido had gone, the energy had gone. Although keto brought the energy back a lot, it still didn't feel quite as I wanted to feel. Tested the testosterone, went to the NHS. They did prescribe me Sustanon, 1 shot every 3 weeks.
Oh, yes.
And they gave me 4 shots, so 12 weeks, and then no more. He had a letter from the hospital to say no.
Oh, from the endocrinology department.
Yeah,
so you
exactly
found
that.
It
was a local GP.
An understanding GP.
Yeah.
But then they were told no by the endocrinology.
Exactly, because he said, I can give you a private prescription. I thought, okay. Yeah. And I thought that was expensive. It wasn't. It was the same price as a normal. But then they stopped just like that.
Yeah, they're awful. And we've had videos, and I talked about this before, endocrinology. I think more than ever, these endocrinologists are specialists, and not just endocrinology, but other specialists as well. It's very black and white to them. Very
they didn't interview me. I didn't go and see them.
They're just looking at numbers. They're just looking at the most serious of cases. And if it doesn't fit that, they don't want to know.
Well, actually, the Sustanon made me feel great for 2 weeks and worse for 1.
The every 4 weeks thing is absurd, barbaric.
I think he suggested every 4, and I persuaded him to do every 3.
Yeah. But even every 3.
And I had to go in there to get the injection as well, which was a pain in the ass, literally.
Yeah.
And the way he threw it at me, it was like a pain in the ass. It was like a dot.
Yeah.
But so then I came to you, of course. That's when your company wasn't around 10 years ago, I believe.
Nearly 2016 we launched.
There you go. I did my show in 2018. I found you after this. And then I started at age 46, which was 2019.
Right.
And of course, ever since I've been prescribed the Sustanon, but every 5 days, a certain amount of it. And I've never felt better. Since then, I did my last show, age 50, but I was 10 kilos heavier than more muscle. And I gained those 10 kilos over 5 years, which was 2 kilos a year. It sounds a lot, 10 kilos, but that's over 5 years of being high protein and training correctly. So it's not a lot of weight per week. And I didn't gain any body fat doing that. That's the beauty of this anabolic diet. I gained the muscle without any fat.
And also having optimized testosterone as well.
Perfectly helped. So I was on stage at 90, and as I told you this morning, I weighed in at 88.3.
Okay.
And I haven't been dieting since the show. So I've still maintained this leanness all year round.
Very vascular.
But you don't see when people do men's physique or bodybuilding, within a week, they've gained 5, 10, 20 pounds.
Usually puff out with water retention.
Because they're so missing, not carb depleted, they're treat depleted because they've missed their donuts there. And you've seen the back of the shows, they just throw donuts and cakes. And when you have been keto for some time, you've almost broke that addiction to that. I actually more crave butter and fat. It doesn't bother me at all. And I used to eat bread 3 times a day. I used to love it. I was a regular at Marks and Spencer's.
Well, I mean, look, I've like you, I started at one point doing the anabolic diet, and I moved away from that in my early 20s, and I followed a more traditional bodybuilding diet,
which I did for
with
years.
The carbs and the rice, and that was fine.
It works till it doesn't.
Yeah, it was fine. And then there were times when things got out of control, partly because I was drinking more than I should have done. I was being more social. I was going.
I did that in my 30s.
In my 30s, taking whining and dining for work and this sort of thing, and not being as active, which is a shame because those are good years to have been active and been more focused. But you just kind of enjoy life, and then went through a phase in around 2009 to 2012, trying to get really back into shape. I never went back to any sort of keto.
No.
I mean, there was more Mediterranean, more moderate carbs. And today...
So you're conscious of your carb intake now?
I don't really even worry about it.
You don't?
If I go for a Turkish, well, I have the bread and the hummus. Yeah, I'll probably have half the basket with a friend of the bread and the hummus.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely fine for me. We're all different, and I don't have any issues with gluten. I'll have
I was
sourdough
definitely
bread.
pre-diabetic. I was suffering with fatigue. I was suffering with brain fog. And it was just like turning a light switch on when I removed the gluten, removed the carbs, because wheat is not what it used to be as well. There's so many chemicals
That's true. And I'm not eating bread every day. And when I was sometimes doing toast, sourdough bread, it's coming from an organic flour.
It's very different.
It's different to just a store-bought
A lot of
bread.
the keto gurus in America that say when they come to Europe, they eat in Italy, they eat the bread and feel fantastic.
And I had pasta last night. I usually it's organic pasta or the fresh pasta.
So it's all about the chemicals.
And the quantity too.
Yeah, I mean, the Wonder Bread they have in America now compared to their grandparents, it was like 3 ingredients. Now it's 30.
Yeah.
It's pure toxic poison. So that's why I help guys now, generally around probably over 30 is the average, 30 to 50. And they find in the same symptoms. And they want to get, certainly the American clients, they want to be jacked, but they want to feel fantastic and look fantastic. They don't particularly want the bodybuilder look of the 80s anymore. Right. It's more the aesthetic, looking good in a suit still, but also feeling that energized state. There's a lot of things with nootropics these days and the mental state.
So what would you say are the top, 4 things someone can do to transform themselves if you kind of come to you?
The first one I get them to do, which I believe is the most detrimental for us, is actually seed oils.
Oh, yeah.
So I remove all the seed oil from their diet, which is in 80% of the processed food that they're eating.
It's interesting. Obviously, they're going to say this. The seed oil industry say that yes, hexanes are used, but we filter it out so well that these hexanes is toxic chemical that you would have trace of any in some of the processed ones. Especially if you go to restaurants, they use this one usually commercially available seed oil. Usually rapeseed oil is the type of seed oil that's being used. And I noticed, we went for a curry the other day, the place that we always go to, and my younger brother's with me, and he watches all the seed oils. I never even thought to ask about it. And we said, can you just cook it with ghee or no butter at all? So I will try to use the least amount possible, and instead of oils we use the ghee. I know it's myself and a couple of friends, or my brother, we didn't know the difference. Me and another friend that usually go there, we noticed the next day, one, we didn't get the normal ring sting that ring sting is we can work that out.
You
work that out as a term where it goes in nicely but it goes out burning. And we didn't feel the dodgy tummy.
I always get stomach pain if I've accidentally eaten some seed oil.
Yeah, and we didn't notice this time. It was so much nicer. It tasted so much better. And we didn't know we could just ask them.
It takes a long time to get it out of your body. The half-life is around 600 days, I believe, for seed oil. So it's a long time to clean your body out of these toxic chemicals. You've only got to Google on YouTube how it's made. When you see it being processed, you think, do I really want to eat that? So I find just removing that, people's skin clears up. You're getting them eating animal fats. And not to be feared of the fat, because fat doesn't make you fat alone. I've been eating over 70% of my diet is fat the last 10 years, and I've never been leaner. But I still do count the total calories, what I eat, but I found that I can eat more. I can average 3,500 calories and stay this lean.
Well, because it's very dense fats and saturated fats are giving you more
so you've just got more energy.
If you're reaching that keto state.
Exactly. So that's the number one thing that I do. And then we remove wheat because of the gluten. And the gluten is the top trump of the proteins in bread, but there's other proteins as well that cause all sorts of problems. As we said, wheat is not what it used to be in the 50s. It's quite toxic to the gut lining. And once you've got a leaky gut, you get autoimmune diseases, you get fatigue, you get fibromyalgia. And I've had many clients with IBS, fibromyalgia, eczema. Within a couple of weeks, it's gone, never to return. So even if you can just help a guy with IBS, and that's gone. It's life-changing.
I think it's with the glyphosate that's used. I mean, this is so ridiculous that I always thought in the 90s the promise of genetically modified foods were going to be, okay, we'll make some plants
Better.
that are going to be better adapted to handle weeds growing next to them. Oh, they did that, but they made the plants to be resistant, not to the weeds, but resistant to the weed killer, which was the glyphosate, which was a chemical, which is absurd because now they force the farmers to buy seeds that are resilient to their chemical, and you've got to buy their chemical. The whole thing, you're spraying fields with this toxin.
And it's not just a little bit when you see that.
Come off with washing.
No.
I think it breaks down some of the tight junctions in the gut, and then you get.
This is why the carnivore diet is so popular now, and it really does work. If you've got autoimmune diseases, they're probably having a lot of chemicals that they shouldn't be. I personally don't do carnivore. I have carnivore meals. Yeah. Through laziness sometimes, just to cook a steak and have some eggs. But I love a Mediterranean style keto. I love Greek salads. I love vegetables anyway. So I have no problem with them. But if I'm buying it, try to buy organic where you can.
Yeah, I mean, I think my take on it, because I'm not doing keto, is if I will have some pasta, I will have some bread. I try to source the best flour, the best pasta that I can. For the most part, I'm not eating it all the time.
And it's the doses, the poison's in the dose.
Yeah. So
when the restaurant serves you at a Lebanese, for example, they give you now this much rice and this much chicken.
Right, it's having a higher.
If you just half the dose of the carbs, doubled your protein, you'll probably be fine.
Yeah.
So not everyone needs to be keto.
Right.
But it's a good place to start and then to add some back.
Okay.
But the anabolic diet gives you the beauty of both worlds.
On the weekends, you're not giving it up all the time.
Exactly.
So seed oils, we're talking about avoiding gluten. What's the other step?
Well, then the full carbs, removing the carbs and getting you into ketosis.
Okay.
And you can check this with blood is the best way, a finger prick test. And if you're producing ketones...
urine for keto as well.
They're not accurate, and they're certainly not accurate after about 2 or 3 weeks. That's the ketones that you're wasting.
Right.
It's not the ketones that are in your blood.
Okay.
So you test for BHB, beta hydroxybutyrate, which is the main ketone that you want to be using. Yeah. Test your blood, and if you're over 0.5, you're in a good nutritional ketosis, which means your blood sugar has to be quite low.
Right.
When your blood sugar is high, your ketones will be low. So people have reversed diabetes, which doctors haven't managed to do that. But keto people have done it, or at least got it under control
and
within weeks.
Recommend exogenous ketones?
That's quite a new product over the last 10 years. They've come out and the price has come down, but still expensive. You've got ketone salts, which are more available in the UK, but in Europe and America, you've got ketone esters. I personally prefer the esters. It's like doing a shot of tequila. Right. They're not the best tasting thing, but I found if you've had a bad night's sleep or you're a little bit tired, they can pick you up without giving you a stimulated kick like caffeine. Okay. So there is a place for them, but it's certainly not needed.
Now, what other things you recommend for clients to get into the best shape besides the diet side? Is there anything on exercise? Is there a particular exercise?
Strength training. You've got to be lifting weights. Men and women. Yeah,
there's a lot of men that may be a bit overweight. They want to start with the cardio first. I see this a lot at the gym. And they'll say, I don't want to get too muscly. Like,
so you won't.
There's a myth out there still. People feel like if I do the cardio.
And I think it's important with my clients, I wouldn't recommend, unless they've got massive low testosterone symptoms, to start TRT first. You want to, because what you're doing is they've got a Skoda body and they're going to put a Ferrari engine in there, whereas you need to get the body feeling better first.
I think, and I'm...
give yourself 6 months.
There's some... The European, I think, Urological Society or Endocrinology Society talk about if you have someone who's overweight and they have low testosterone, if you can shift them into losing that weight, there may be an uptick in the testosterone.
Exactly.
One way you can do obviously diet and exercise. When that's not enough, even the GLP-1s may be an option to get there a bit quicker, and it may also have this anti-inflammatory effect besides just the diet.
There's definitely a place for those for certain people.
And even the SLG2 inhibitors can almost act as a keto without actually going full keto.
Right.
Because it strips away the sugar before it gets absorbed in your body. So SLG2 inhibitors like
that's another new one.
Gluflozin and dapagliflozin, they've been around for a while.
Right.
They're also good protective for the kidneys and the heart. And slight, small, some people, I think particularly women, may experience a UTI because the glucose environment may, but it's generally it's quite rare.
See, the beauty with when they go on my plan,
you don't have to worry about taking medication.
You lose a lot of weight quickly because of the bloat, the water bloat, which motivates them.
Yeah.
Because they think, oh wow, I've suddenly lost 3 or 4 kilos. And that helps them to get off the sofa and get to the gym.
It's a good start to start. Exactly. That's what I was going to say is it's starting on the exercise and the healthy living can go also hand in hand with starting testosterone, because the British Society for Sexual Medicine doesn't necessarily say that one should wait to start the treatment if they are low. And we have seen patients who have gone through the diet and the exercise and they didn't get that much of a bounce, or a bounce that's enough to
if they're suffering, as you say, with severe depression or something, and they just don't even want to leave the house, then maybe the testosterone at a controlled dose is the first port of call.
Along with the diet and exercise. I think they both work well together. So I don't think you necessarily always have to postpone testosterone treatment. And I'll give you an example. Someone showed me some numbers from a potential patient that had low testosterone levels. I think they were, I can't remember, 8 or 9 or 10, or maybe 10. But so it showed within the range, but we know that levels as low as 15 nanomoles per liter and lower is when you get symptoms of low testosterone. But the person also had a really high luteinizing hormone, an FSH. So the thought is, if you're going to fix your diet and exercise and lifestyle, the thought is your LH should go up and then your testosterone will go up. But this person already had a high LH. So essentially they have a form of primary hypogonadism. So all the exercise and dieting in the world
wouldn't make a difference.
If you nudge the LH up anymore, you're still not going to get much more testosterone out of it. Maybe with the exception that maybe you lower the SHBG, maybe. But
again, it's lifestyle factors. I mean, first quitting smoking, quitting the booze, just simply walking more, get 10,000 steps in a day, and people will feel better and their testosterone may go. Just sleep better. Sleep is the number one, and control your stress. Once they do them factors with the diet, start the testosterone. Don't wait to start if it's low and think, I'll start when I'm 60, but you're 50 now. You're going to feel better for the next 10 years. I know I feel 25 since I started. The libido's back, everything's back functioning properly, which reflects on your blood work. Very important to get your blood tested. That's where I've just been this morning. And people they MOT their car every year because it's a legal requirement, but they don't MOT their body. It makes no sense. People look after their car more than their own health and body.
I mean, some of the way the healthcare system's laid out, it's not focused on prevention. It's more focused on fixing it after the problems are
exactly. And my idea is always prevention's better than the cure. So get in great shape before you need the doctor.
That's ideally the case.
Exactly. And strength training 3 times a week, at least 2 times a week you should be doing, but 2 to 4 is plenty enough. Lifting weights, learn how to lift weights correctly, and then learn how to push the intensity of the exercise, which, as you know, I'm a big fan of Dorian Yates and one of his certified trainers. That's not for everyone, and people have got results. You will get results without that, but he was after Olympia titles. How do you push your body that hard? That was his job and career. But just simply moving some weight will be a big start if you don't do that already. So, you don't have to train like Dorian, but you can if you enjoy a bit of pain. Which,
and if your joints can handle a bit of pain.
I love that sort of effort, but I've been doing it for 40 years in the gym.
Blood and guts.
Exactly.
So we've got seed oils, stay away from too much gluten.
Grain.
We talked about testosterone, measuring your testosterone levels. as part of that, when talking about pushing weights and also doing cardio and moving and steps. So those are kind of the...
Moving and steps, yeah, and lifting weights. Also, again, on your blood test, like vitamin D levels. Most people are very, very deficient in vitamin D, living in Western Europe when we've got sunshine today, but again, when you lay in the sun produces up to 10 to 20,000 IUs of vitamin D if you're laying in bare-skinned in the sun at midday. And yet they recommend you only to take 4,000 IUs a day. But that makes no sense to me.
Plus, I think the sun does some other things for your mitochondria from just the natural light.
And you feel great.
Yeah.
So don't fear the sun.
Well, some of these medications that are now, they call peptides, melanotan 1, melanotan 2.
So it helps you to get more tan.
PT141, and there's some other medications that are dealt with for losing weight, have to do with the receptors in the brain that have to deal with the melanin, so that the sun activates. So all the things that the sun will naturally activate in your skin, some of these peptides have been created to agonize the receptors for, I think they're called melanocortin receptors. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I think the number 3 and number 4 are some of the ones that PT141 does, this peptide that improves sexual function. And it's been approved for licensed drug for women with hyposexual function, so low sexual function. But men who also use this PT141 also experience similar benefits, including increased spontaneous erections. So when you do something to the melanocytes in the brain, either from sunlight or these peptides, and how many times have you noticed if you get a nice bit of sun and you go inside for a few hours, you might feel a little bit more revved up, a little more libido. So there are health benefits to it. I think the only downside is if there is potential damage to your skin from...
Just don't burn.
Yeah.
If you're going to burn, go inside. You've had enough. Yeah. But that's how I help these guys, just to feel like life is not over when you're 50.
No, a lot more to go.
There's a lot more to go. We're only halfway through.
Yeah, that's right.
So
100 or maybe even longer if there's a...
Exactly. So again, with my own transformation, I feel younger and fitter than I did when I was 40, for sure.
You look great. Very vascular, very strong.
Yeah, and I still deadlift 3 times body weight I've done. So that's pretty decent for 50 or 52. 52.
I'm 51, so yeah.
I'm one ahead.
Yeah, it's about the healthy aging, and you made that point in your life for a transformation, and now you're just sticking with it. And that's the thing, you just go stick with it, make it part of your lifestyle.
Yeah, it's become, as I said, I was telling you earlier, I've just come back from a week all-inclusive in Turkey with the family. But I went to the gym 7 times. I didn't have a worse holiday because of that. You've got more time. You're on holiday.
You can enjoy it. When it makes
it was my routine. If I don't train in the morning, I feel more tired.
Okay.
So you don't have to kill yourself in the gym when you're on holiday, but you just get in there, moving, feeling great. And again, quit the booze. That was the best thing I did.
I think alcohol culturally, the culture pushes you to be social and drink, but you can also be social and drink maybe a lime with a little bit of soda and lime, or without any alcohol in it.
My drug of choice now is coffee, I think. I like a black coffee, so I'm not quitting that. I've quit everything else.
No, I think there are some benefits. I know there are some who talk about caffeine or coffee.
I do buy an organic one at home and it's mold-free and stuff, but I certainly will drink coffee in a cafe or restaurant.
Yeah, well, you don't know what you're getting there. Then
no, exactly. So
you try to limit it when you can.
I'm living on the edge.
Yeah, that's the worst you're doing. I think you're doing all right. So, thanks, Alan. You're big on Instagram.
Yeah, Coach Al Reeves.
Okay.
I've got really some exciting news coming up the later of the year, which is going to help hundreds of guys, thousands of guys at the same time. So I won't say any more yet, but really exciting news to come. So
that's great. You're doing well and you're helping a lot of people.
That's the plan.
One thing, if someone doesn't want to do a keto diet, can they still use your services? Or?
Yeah, sure, because we generally manipulate carbs because, as I said, people are overeating the carbs. So you can be low carb, which could be anything up to 150 grams of carbs a day, which is more than plenty for most people. You have to earn your carbs and they're not earning them.
Yeah.
And if you can have that around the workout, workout that can help. So there's many different varieties. I'm not a keto zealot, if you like. It works for me, but other clients, we do different things with them. So
that's good to know.
just removing the toxins and get them into a better routine is generally the first step for better health.
That's well said. So if you've had a transformation, either with Al or on your own, let us know in the comments what your transformation was like, how you did it. We're always keen to respond to your comments. And if you like information like this, if you like the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help, so you can put out more content like this. We really appreciate if you do subscribe. Until next time, to your health, and hope you stay well.
Hello there, my name's Alan. I've been with Balance My Hormones since the age 46, so I'm now 52. I've found this company to be fantastic. They have always prescribed me regarding how I feel, not just on a number on a range. Whereas I went to the NHS originally and they stopped prescribing. They gave me a minimal dose. It actually made me feel worse. So I've no intention to leave this company. I've found them to be first-class products and always there to be on hand if I need to talk to the doctor.